I'm starting some pretty big mods in my Flagstaff A-frame camper as we are getting it ready to make a long 3 or 4 month tour of the United States. My goal is to make this into a customized camper that will fit our long-term travel and camping needs. This is part one of the work I'll be doing, so let's hop to it. The first task on my list is to address the limited refrigerator space. We really like this Dometic refrigerator as it functions well and can operate on either electricity, propane, or 12 volts. The only issue is its overall size. It holds about 3.5 cubic feet of food, including the freezer. Our problem is we do a lot of our own cooking, and that just isn't enough to handle our needs. 2 years ago, we bought this cooler style fridge made by Uhomie, and it's been a big help. About 1.3 cubic feet in volume, it can operate on 120 or 12 volts. When we head out on the road, we stock it up with drinks, sandwiches, and other snacks and put it in the back seat of our truck or car. It's very convenient to just reach back there and grab an ice cold drink or a quick meal while we are driving down the highway. Now when we go camping, we take the portable fridge and stick it in the camper, where we can use it as extra cold space. But here's the problem. The A-frame is small and space is at a premium, so when we put it in the inside, it does take up quite a bit of floor space under the table. I don't want to stop taking the little fridge, but I also want my floor space, so I've decided to make a mod that will let me have both. On the front of my Flagstaff is a large storage trunk. In a previous episode, I modified this area to be much more efficient and spacious than the original design. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to it. This front trunk holds a lot of my gear, but I can afford to reuse a bit of room. My idea is to build a shelf with a 12 volt power supply on one end. Then I'll be able to set my cooler fridge inside the compartment. The trunk locks so it will stay secure. We can then use it to refrigerate those extra items that we don't have room for in the camper's fridge. I still have the original wood pieces that I had removed when I did my modification, so this is a perfect time to repurpose them. The shelf I'm building will be 26 inches long and 16 inches wide for the fridge. It also needs to be about 16 inches below the lid so it will fit. I'll use this as the side support board, so this will need to be cut to 26 inches long by 15.5 inches tall. I nailed 2 half-inch square pieces of wood to the board. This top one will hold the shelf in place. The bottom piece has a couple of screws in it and will secure the board to the compartment floor. I cut a 1.5 by 3/4 inch board to use as an end support. This now gets nailed flush to the shelf support at the side edge. Notice I left a 3/4 inch space so that it fits. In the compartment, the existing back rail is too high to use, so I take my multi-tool and I cut it off at 26 inches from the sidewall. Next, I use a small bar to gently pry it off the wall. Now I bring out my compressor and my air stapler. I've already attached the back rail to the side support, and I fit the entire assembly into the end of the compartment. Everything gets squared up and then it's stapled and screwed down. Now I test fit the top shelf and it fits perfectly. I set the fridge on the shelf. It's snug, but it will work. The lid closes over it with room to spare. Well, it looks good, but this whole thing isn't going to work unless I run some power out here. I decided I was going to run 12 volt power, so I ordered a 12 volt outlet that is for marine and RV use. It's heavy duty and should work well for this. I'm mounting this on the front shelf panel, so I take the appropriate hole saw and I bore a mounting hole. The 12 volt outlet and faceplate screw into the hole and I secure it down. I get some low voltage wire and I attach female spade clips to the end. They will plug onto the male spade clips in the back of the outlet. Then I'll be able to plug the fridge's 12 volt pigtail in to power it. Right behind the back wall is a dinette seat. I'll bore a hole here and run the wire under the seating. The power panel is right here, so I'll be able to tap 12 volt power. That is, if I can figure out this tangle of wires. pull the wires through the hole, leaving enough outside to secure it to the compartment walls. I find a suitable 12-volt source and tap the wires into it. Now I plug in the fridge's 12-volt pigtail and the refrigerator comes to life. This will sure come in handy when we are out traveling and camping, and because it's up on a shelf, it's not really reducing my cargo space. Using this is simple. When we get to the campsite, it's easy to set up the fridge into this compartment, and when we get ready to leave, we place the fridge back into the back seat of the truck. One thing I will be adding will be a couple of small vents behind the refrigerator to be sure there will be enough air circulation. I'll be ordering them soon. I hope you enjoyed this episode. While you are here, I'd appreciate it if you could high-five that like icon, jingle the notification bell, and subscribe to my channel. I'm small but steadily growing, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Keep watching, as I currently have the interior of the camper torn up, and I am in the process of doing a pretty large modification that I know you'll want to see. Until next time, keep camping.